This is the Mystic Girl Cult, a safe space to celebrate the journey to find your most magical self. No judgment, no hate, just stardust trying to find its shape. I'm your host, Amy. Get ready to be indoctrinated into the circle. Today I'm joined by two very special people. Our first guest is Stephanie Wilkie. She's a production coordinator for animated feature films. Outside of work, she cares a lot about feminism, education, entertainment, fashion, animals, and even plants. Lately, she's been striving for a more ethical and sustainable lifestyle. And we are also joined by Jessica, a flight attendant for a major U.S. airline. Let's get right into our conversation. And we're going to welcome back Stephanie and Jessica, who you might recognize from a previous episode.
Hi.
No.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
Hi, I'm Jess. I literally just tried to drink through my straw and it was still covered. It's a capped straw.
I mean, it happens. So today we're going to kind of focus on moving through life and deciding that you're going to kind of pivot how you're living your life. Stephanie's been going through a transitional kind of phase of finding new ways and new beliefs, I guess, about how you want to pursue just the lifestyle that you're living.
Yeah, I guess trying to change up my lifestyle to be more conscious of my impact on the earth and environment.
Which is really important.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people take into account how much we can do to actually prevent all this crazy stuff that's going on in the world that we live in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that it's sort of been a gradual growing concern that I've been building over the years. I feel that I've recycled for as long as I can remember, I suppose. Now a lot of cities are pro recycling and have recycling programs, or don't they try to cut down on plastic bags and stuff like that. These are all little things that I've been somewhat conscious of over the years, but recently, I guess, over the last year or two, I've been researching more and reading more about how these things affect the environment. Not just that, but also ethical working or fair trade, all of these things that
thinking about where all the stuff that you're getting is coming from.
Right, yeah. And so
being more sustainable and
yeah, and it's sometimes it freaks me out. I'm not gonna lie. I'll read about microplastics and how so many fish are dying from all the tiny little plastics that are in the ocean, you know, and or the trash mountains that are building, or how our
Trash Island, not just a Gorillaz album.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Not just a girl's out.
Yeah, indeed. Or the ice caps melting and
the poor polar bears. When you see those photos,
yeah,
it's so
it's
sad.
and they play the Sarah McLachlan
Oh my-
song.
Oh God. Yeah, cheesy as it may be, it does hits me in the feels.
Yeah.
And so it just makes me think we all just live obliviously, and we're all kind of self-centered, humans tend to be, and I'm trying to be a little bit better about it. And I definitely, the thing is I feel it's so daunting that it feels almost impossible to really achieve a fully sustainable and ethical lifestyle. There's always going to be something that you didn't do right. I
don't think the goal is to be the most perfect person.
Yeah, it's impossible.
And you have to, I think, have a little bit of realism and self-acceptance of the fact that the way that society, where we are at least right this second, is not set up to be 100% sustainable.
Yeah, especially in the United States.
Yeah. And so we have to do our best with what's around us to make the least amount of impact.
Yeah.
And you've been doing a lot of research about
that.
that's
That's sort of been my goal lately, and nowhere near where I want to be, but
yeah. I think it's admirable that you're at least trying. Many people, like you said, are oblivious, and even if they know about these things, they're not trying. So don't be hard on yourself for like, I'm not 100% sustainable. You are at least trying, and like with anything, everyone does it differently, and as long as you make the conscious effort, I think that's great.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so I try to remind myself that too. But it's like I've found myself like finding it to be difficult to talk about it with people, even my friends, because there's like a sense of privilege and like condescension sometimes that surrounds that kind of lifestyle or belief. Like, people think you're like, oh, you're being bougie, or you're being snobby, or hippie, or, like, there's, like, kind of a stigma around that. And, yes, there are some obnoxious people in the world who can be really pushy about it, but I really don't want to be that person.
I mean, so the only experience I can speak to, because I can 100% admit I have not been very good at doing a journey to more sustainability, because easy is easy. Yeah. And it does take a conscious effort. But what I can speak to is that fear that you have, because as someone who's been a vegetarian for going on almost 10 years now, is you can't let the as we've talked about in a previous episode, the stigma of a very certain lifestyle be what deters you from going after it. Right. I have noticed in my life that the people who talk the most about my life choices, where I don't eat meat, I don't eat like a lot of animal byproducts, and getting very close to veganism, if you don't count a couple things, is that people who don't like it are the people who are going to be most offended and come at you for it, and the people who talk about it the most. Right. But generally, I don't think you're going to be hanging around them.
Yeah, generally. Yeah, that's true. Generally, because I don't want to be around that negativity either, But I also don't want to be like the overly privileged person, like telling people how to live their lives. And, obviously, like, you do you, that kind of thing. And also, the other issue is that we're trying to live a more sustainable lifestyle is expensive, or it can be.
It can be, yeah.
I can't deny that. Like, the healthier food tends to be more expensive. Organic food tends to be more expensive. Like, clean makeup products that don't have chemicals and parabens and dyes or fragrances or whatever that you don't want in them for whatever reason, they tend to be more expensive or harder to find. And so yeah, that's another struggle for me personally, because I don't make that much money, and I am trying to be better about my money. So yeah, so that's just like something that I wanted to explore and like share. Go
ahead.
Yeah. So that's just it's just something I wanted to talk about and share, because it's also kind of hard to bring up the topic like offhand, It's like, hey, by the way, did you know that animals are dying because of the way you shop?
Yeah, like making someone feel like guilty.
Yeah.
That's not your
it's not my MO.
intention. Yeah. You don't want to be like, because of you, this is happening in the world.
Luckily enough, someone chose to click on an episode about this. So they are open to listening to it, hopefully.
Yes, hopefully.
I think that you actually have a really, really good point of view, because you're starting out doing it, and so you get to see the struggle of the switch. You're not coming from I made this my professional life goal, and I've made it everywhere there, and it's so easy because I've done everything.
Right, yeah, like one website that I've used as a resource, and also a place to shop for items that are more sustainable, is called Package Free. I think it's packagefree.com. And it's run by this woman who basically lives a waste-free life, like zero waste. And that is
that's a skill. That's a talent.
It's amazing.
It takes like a lot of like practice and learning, and honestly just
and I don't know. I kind of just don't know how she does it, even though I read about it.
I think it's daunting when you first start it, but once you just like with anything, once you are immerse yourself in it, and you become used to it, I know easier said than done, but it becomes easier.
One of the best examples, I think, is especially where we don't have grocery store bags the same way. And so learning to use reusable grocery store bags. Right. When you first start it, it's like, I forgot it. It's this big hassle, and then you just get used to it.
Yeah, like I keep a bunch of grocery bags, reusable bags in my car. I have some in my backpack. Eventually, I'd like to have one of those ones that like folds up into this little compact thing, so I can put in my purse. But I just haven't, gotten around to buying that yet. And also saving money. Gotta put it towards the thing that's most important to me right now. But also, speaking of grocery shopping, one of the things I learned more recently that I want to try to do is, the little plastic bags for getting your produce. That is bad. And also plastic bags in general. Like, yes, they can be recycled, but actually they're like, I think one of the harder things to recycle, and they also tend to get like separated from the recycle bins or whatever. Like they end up like flying around in the wind or like getting in the oceans and suffocating turtles or something. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. Yeah. And it's a scary thing and it's sad. Like anytime I see a plastic bag blowing in the wind, I don't think it's beautiful. Isn't that something from American Beauty or whatever?
Maybe. All I can think of is Katy Perry. Have you ever felt like a plastic bag floating through the wind as this metaphorical beautiful thing? And it's like, no, you're trash.
No, that is trash.
No, you're trash.
Yeah, it's bad. So even like the little plastic bags from getting your produce is bad for you.
So what would you use instead?
Well, you can get like little canvas bags or netted bags, like just like a reusable grocery bag. Yep. And just bring it with you to the grocery store to get your groceries. I noticed that Trader Joe's has switched to like compostable plastic bags.
Those green ones, right?
Yeah, those like green, and it's like a slightly different texture. And I guess that's like a step in the right direction. It's better, but it's still not like great.
I think what would be helpful is if those kind of bags were available in the grocery store.
Yeah, they
as like a choice.
Sell them.
Yeah.
Because people don't see it as an option. They're not going to use it. They're going to use, like you said, easy. So what they see, what is already there.
Yes. And that's why, like, at least, like, for reusable grocery bags, it's more prevalent now, at least for us in LA. Because even at Trader Joe's, they sell reusable bags.
Which, I mean, we can acknowledge the privilege of living in a place that is actively moving that way to a degree.
Right. I mean, there are definitely cities in the United States that don't recycle. They don't have recycling programs.
But you do have the option of like buying a couple canvas bags, tote bags, and bringing them to your grocery store, no matter where you live.
Right. Exactly. And so, so that's like one little thing that I want to try to start doing is like using the little like produce bags, getting my hands on some of those. But in the meantime, I try not to use the plastic produce bags unless I really feel... Because the other thing is I'm like kind of a germaphobe. Yep. And so I don't... Like my mom, when she shops, she will buy a head of lettuce, not give... Sorry if you have to censor it.
It's okay, we're just going to find a magical sound.
Yeah. Put it in the grocery cart, like a naked head of lettuce. That we're gonna eat later. Indecency. And I'm just like, that is touching a grocery cart, and who knows where it's been.
I mean, I'm hoping at the very least she washes it when she gets home.
Yes, but still, there's something about that freaks me out. Yeah. Like even though we don't know where it's been, and like the whole like coming from the farm to the grocery store. For all I know, someone dropped it in the back room. Try not to think about it, but
that's why my problem with restaurants.
Oh man,
is everything.
Yeah. So anyway, but that's how my mom rolls. But me, like I feel like if it's like a naked kind of produce where it doesn't have like a skin that I'm gonna peel off, I feel the need to put it in a bag. Yeah. But if it's something like an avocado or an orange, I'm like, okay, I don't need a bag for this. I'm just gonna throw it in the cart. Yeah. So that's one tiny little thing that I'm trying to do. Another thing that I learned that is could make a big impact is how you do your laundry. Microplastics can get into the ocean through the washing of clothes, because especially if you haven't, even if you're trying to like purchase more like natural clothing items, like things that are 100% cotton or linen or whatever, you probably have a lot of things that have synthetic fibers, like polyester or whatever, and those are plastic, and they're like little microplastics that come out of it from the wash and get into the ocean. So what I learned is like one way to help is like this type of washing bag that you can use to help collect it before it can get out into the ocean.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah, and...
No idea. Like,
no, the only washing bag I know is the one that you put your socks in so your socks don't get lost.
Right, or
yes.
like...
Or your bra or something.
Delicates. Yeah, and even those are not that great because they're not necessarily capturing the little microplastics. Mm-hmm. They're just like kind of protecting your clothes, but they're not.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I read a couple of articles about microplastics and how like fish are like dying from them, whatever, you know? And then it was just like, holy shit, like... just from like washing our clothes, even if I were to like stop buying plasticky or like synthetic clothes, it's still something that's gonna get out there. Or even if you buy like say clothes that comes from recycled water bottles, you think you're doing a great thing, but then you end up washing it in the little tiny microplastics.
Oh my god, I never thought of that.
Yeah.
So you think you're doing such a great thing by buying something that's like that was
upcycled.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's also, why is this... So, before you talking about microplastics, I don't think I've readily seen that word anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know how I came upon it. I think because, like, bit by bit, I've been subscribing to different websites, blogs, or newsletters that have to do with it. One that I recommend is called Good On You.
Which I'll include these links in the show notes so people can go research their own stuff. Yeah,
and then there's the Good Trade. And so, those two in particular, basically I'll get, like, weekly emails where it's like, these are the brands to watch out for, and these are the brands that are doing good, or articles like how you can be better ultimately, and like some other lifestyle things like self-care and things like that, all the little trendy things that are going on.
I mean, I do the same thing. I subscribe to things that tell me about vegan products.
Yeah.
Because it makes me feel better to know I'm using stuff that doesn't hurt and test on animals.
Right. Yeah. And so I've been learning about all of this through those kinds of newsletters, and so that's how I came across microplastics. And so one thing, and this is like not sponsored or whatever, but it's like one of the few...
I never sponsored.
It's
I'm sponsored by friendship.
Yes. One of the few like things available to help us prevent the microplastics from getting into the ocean is this thing called, I think it's the brand... or the brand name company is called Guppy. It's called a Guppy Friend washing bag, and because it helps friends with guppies.
Yeah.
I don't know. And you can only buy it. I think it because it's a German company, or it started in Germany. So I think you can buy it from their website online. But actually, the easiest way for us in the U.S. is through Patagonia.
Oh.
Which, by the way, Patagonia, great company to support. Like they do good.
Okay.
And they are like more sustainable and ethical than...
The more you know.
Yeah, the more you know. So you know, we all did the little rainbow more you know.
Rainbow star.
Yes. Patagonia. So you can either go to a Patagonia store or order it online. I will say it's expensive. I think it's like $30 or $40
But it's an investment.
Oh, yeah.
It is totally an investment. So right now I have one, but I want to get a second one.
How much does it fit in the bag?
I think they do different sizes, at least in like from the German website, but from Patagonia, I think they only sell the one size. I think it's like medium, and it's like, how much would you measure that? Like two
like a yard, maybe.
Like 1 yard long and like 18 inches.
So basically, what have you been able to fit in it?
Is it like a one load?
Yeah.
No, so it's definitely not something that I could fit a whole load of clothes into.
Okay.
And that's why I want to get a second one. Because you also don't want to overstuff it. Otherwise, it's not really going to wash the clothes.
So would you say if you... Because we've talked a little bit about sustainable clothing. A little bit. I'm sure we'll talk about it more afterwards. Would you say then you could separate out the clothing that you know doesn't contain microplastics and then wash them that way?
Oh, that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, so you don't have to stuff everything in the bag.
Yeah, so right now, one of my laundry baskets, I have this thing, this like divider divider in it, but you can separate your laundry however you want, you know, or you can wait until you do the laundry. But personally, I try to like separate as I'm throwing things in the hamper or whatever. I have one side for like the clothes that are made of like natural clothing, so the things that are 100% cotton, linen. I'm forgetting what else, but I also don't remember offhand like which other materials are good, but like bamboo or tencel.
With silks?
I think silks, but a lot of silks tend to be dry clean only or like delicate cold wash. But I do have a couple of silk tops where I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna just wash it and like no dry cleaning for me. Yeah,
and it comes out fine.
Yep. Yes. It's all right. But anyway, yeah. So I wash those. I can put those directly in the wash, but then the ones that are like made of polyester, nylon, things like that, even if it's just a small percentage, I put it in the guppy bag. And the bag and like socks, for example, I don't even know offhand which socks might be like
good or bad.
Like,
so when in doubt, put it in the bag.
Exactly. Yep. Yes, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Even like underwear, whatever. And the good thing is because the bag is so like, I don't know, like anything you would normally put in a delicates bag anyway is fine in that bag too. So it's like, you know, even if they're delicate, you're already like protecting it in this bag. So it's pretty cool. And then, yeah, so then you put in there, so there's like a balance issue in the washer sometimes because it's like this one bag, it's like full of stuff and then all the other loose clothing on the other side. So that's another reason why I'm considering getting a second one.
So you can just do...
Yeah, so it's more balanced.
Yeah.
And it's also, with the way that laundry is out here, it would probably be a different situation if you had in-house laundry, where you could do as many loads as you needed to, however separate. But with the cost of doing like coin-operated laundry, it's like you want to try to limit your loads.
Exactly.
And so having two to do at once would probably be easier than like... doing the load of just that versus the load.
Right, yeah, because I'm one of the people who has to use quarters to get my laundry done. And plus, like, you don't want to, like, do too many loads, because right now I feel like I have to do more loads than I normally would, which is also kind of bad, because you're, like, all the water use, you know? So that's also bad for the environment.
I did find out somehow that humans have hurt themselves so much with how much toilet...
water?
No, plumbing like has not advanced.
Interesting.
It's stagnated a long time, and no advances have been made to better, like find a way to do that kind of technology. And so that's actually hurt humanity a lot with the way that we've set it up and not continue to.
Like with how much water
we use, how much we pollute water with it, and just all of that kind of stuff has really just stagnated and kept us back from a lot.
Interesting. That's interesting. Yeah. So, that's one little thing that I could recommend. And like also like trying to do laundry less. Like washing your clothes less, which actually is not as gross as it sounds. Because
unless you're working out in those clothes.
Right. Yeah. I rewear my clothing a lot. Like I will rewear the same pair of jeans for like weeks.
Yeah, they even say though it's actually better to not wash your jeans. Like people think, oh, I'm gonna wash it every week, and like no, they say it's actually better for the material for it to last longer.
Totally.
And so I've been told.
Yes. No, I think that's actually true, or that's what I've read as well. So, and plus, like if it lasts longer, it means that you're not buying more jeans more often either,
and tossing yours out somewhere.
Yes. Yeah. So like doing laundry less. Using cold water versus hot water, avoiding the use of the dryer if you don't really need to use the dryer. Like I like to use a dryer for towels, for example,
or like
how they feel.
Comforters and stuff like that. Yeah, because like they take a long time to just air dry.
Yeah, I've never tried to air dry one before, but that sounds like
oh man, it stays wet for so long. But what would you say? Have you learned anything about the types of laundry washers? So like. Not necessarily the washing machines, but detergents or those darn Tide Pods those kids want to snack on.
I will say
Top snack of 2018.
Oh my god.
So bad.
So bad.
So bad.
I will say that is one area that I haven't really pursued just yet, because I like the convenience of Tide Pods. I have bought into that gimmick or whatever, you know. I like how easy it is to like just throw them in, but yes, I will admit they're not like the most sustainable option, you know. And I have started to look into different cleaning products that are like that don't have like
the
harsh
cleaners?
chemicals. Yeah, I'm looking at natural cleaners and like soap brands and stuff, so I am starting to like look into that. But also, as a germaphobe, I tend to like, I kind of like bleach.
You're like, I want the strong thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's important to know, is like it's not always the 100% thing, because you're a person who has tastes, and I think the effort of trying and learning about it, that maybe you'll find an option that you like just as much, even better. The fact that you're trying and you're learning is the biggest thing you can do.
Yeah, another...
Baby steps are steps.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, another thing I know I'm really bad about is, like, on the one hand, yes, I do try to recycle as much as possible. On the other hand, I use a lot of paper towels, and that's because... I'm a little bit of a germaphobe with reusing towels, especially for my face. I don't know why. I mean, I do know why, but yeah, I tend to use paper towels to dry my face whenever I wash my face because of the hygiene factor or whatever. And so one thing I've started to pursue is like reusable paper towels, or towels basically. And in fact, that website I mentioned, Package Free, does sell like reusable paper towels.
How does that work?
So they're basically just towels, really, or like handkerchiefs, like cloths, and they're like thinner, but they're washable.
Okay.
And so I've been starting to use that for like, because when I do my makeup, sometimes I like clean brushes on a paper towel or whatever. So instead of a paper towel, I'm using that like reusable towel, and then I wash them later. So I bought a pack of those, and I also use them for like cleaning, like if I'm like wiping or dusting or something, or if like say I'm like cleaning my desk or like my shoes or something like that. I try to use like a towel or those reusable paper towels instead of the disposable paper towels. I'm still, working on it.
I mean, like I said, baby steps are still steps.
I think it's great that you're trying, and you're still continuing to explore like different avenues and becoming more conscious of your impact on the earth and being more sustainable, and also going on like I know you're a germaphobe, but you know how you mentioned like you bought reusable paper towels. I actually did see, I forget who promoted it, but I did see that you can also buy reusable cotton pads, because that's the thing that is another disposable thing. Cotton balls, cotton pads.
Cotton rounds, whatever.
Cotton rounds. Yeah. I know that as women, we use those a ton and remove our makeup to apply things. I did see somewhere that sells ones that are reusable, and they look exactly like them, except they're washable. And I thought that was so interesting. And that's probably something I would like to look into.
Yeah, I want to try to pursue that next, because they do sell that on the Package Free website too. I'm sure there are other places you can purchase them. But yeah, that is an option. I remember at first I thought like, oh no, why would I do that? Like, it's not as like hygienic or whatever. And then I'm like, actually it's not that bad.
And you wash them.
You clean it.
It's based on you. Like if you are good about washing them and making sure they're clean, then
you're fine. If you're leaving them for a week and still using it again and again,
or if you're using around for multiple days, like that's kind of odd. But I mean, whatever, to each their own.
Teach their own.
You're like, I don't care. I care about waste. I just don't care about how much bacteria I'm putting on my face. Give or take.
Yes. So that is one thing that I want to try to pursue too. Yeah, because. And like a tip on the reusable paper towels when I do like use them with like makeup, because sometimes makeup can be staining. What I do is when I'm ready to like throw it in the hamper, I spray it with some like stain remover or like like OxyClean or something like that. Not sponsored, and also probably not the healthiest product to use for the environment, but still. it's what I've been using to help get the stains out. And actually works really well. Like, they come out of the wash, and they're actually, totally clean.
That's why the guy was like, wow, every time.
Yeah. Those commercials are real.
It's not just a gimmick.
So, have you been doing anything else out for sustainability or life change or anything like that you think is, like, a really good point to make for people to understand?
A couple big things come to mind. One is reducing the use of plastics.
Which is so hard.
Yeah, and not just, like, with bags, but with everything. Like, if you think about it, so many things we use have plastic. Toothbrushes, floss, dental floss.
Yep.
Razors, shaving razors. Those are...
Coffee pots.
Coffee pots.
Yeah, like, anything disposable. Oh, and, like, disposable coffee cups whenever you get coffee at your...
Yeah.
Yep.
Anywhere.
Straws is a big thing.
Oh, yeah. Straws. The latest revolution.
Cups they come in, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, because believe it or not, the disposable cups you get from, like, Starbucks or any cafe are not recyclable. So many people don't understand
That's so interesting, because they make a big stink about the straws when
the whole entire cup.
The whole thing.
Yeah, because they have this, like, plastic coating in, like, the thing to help keep them from, like, leaking. But that makes them completely useless for recycling.
And they do offer, like, the one-time buy. I think people tend to hate the hassle of being of being sustainable, being responsible, anything. So, like, having to remember to bring a cup and having to wash it yourself, having to do anything like that. Yeah. But it's...
I have one.
I remember when you brought that out the first time we were out getting tea, and you were like, wait, I have my cup. Can I go back to your car? And I was like, sure. And no, I thought that was great. It's made out of glass.
Yeah, the one I have is made out of glass with, like, a cork thing around it. By the way, it's not clean.
Can you hear it?
ASMR.
Can you hear it? Tap the glass. Is that soothing?
Is it soothing? Are you soothed? Anyway, yeah, this is just one option. Like, I think any reusable option is good. So the cups, disposable cups from, like, most coffee shops are actually no bueno.
Which I think is my biggest sin in any of it.
Yeah,
takeout coffee.
Hey, I've been guilty of it too, and there's so many things that I could do better. Oh, and the other thing is I'm so picky about my tea that I tried other reusable, like, coffee mugs, like the stainless steel ones or plastic ones, and I don't like the way my tea tastes out of it.
I remember you saying that when I bought the one at Rite Aid, because I was like, I needed a cup, and you're like, I don't like the metal.
Yeah, yeah, for some reason, some people, like, claim that it doesn't taste like metal or whatever, but somehow I still manage to, so maybe, like, people's taste buds or...
Yeah,
since
you're more sensitive to
it. So I decided to, like, look into ceramic or glass ones, and I finally found a glass one that I like. And it does have a plastic lid, but...
Does it have a brand, or do you know where you got it?
Yes, this is Keep Cup, which you can get online on their website or any, like, some other online retailers. And they have plastic ones too. FYI, it's not clean right now.
Okay.
So, like, don't
I'm
like,
literally
lick it.
staring at it like, should I lick it or what?
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, I got the one that's made of glass with the cork. Like, what do you call this? The cork.
Is that so that way it's not going to be, like, hot?
So, yeah, it doesn't burn your hand. So I tried, like, I hold it like here.
That.
Okay.
And are there other sizes too? Because this one looks like a smaller
So this
cup.
is actually a medium. This is a 12-ounce cup.
It does not look like 12 ounces.
I know, it says.
But it says.
Is it microwavable?
Yeah. I mean,
Not the lid.
I don't put the lid in, but yes, I do microwave it with this. I think cork... I actually don't know if the cork is microwavable, but the glass is fine. And I've only ever microwaved it for, like, maybe 30 seconds at a time.
Yeah.
So...
Okay.
Yeah, because normally I put, like, the hot liquid in it already, but at work I sometimes have to microwave it to get it a little bit hotter, but yeah, actually, if you go to a coffee shop and if you ask for, like, a medium or 12-ounce drink, it will fit in here. It'll, like, be, like, kind of close to the brim, but it does fit. But they have other sizes.
Okay.
That's so neat. I've actually looked at, like, glass water bottles as well because
same.
Yep.
Well, one, all the other ones that I have, like, are just really cheaply made, so they end up, like, cracking or breaking. Mm-hmm. And yes, glass can too, but a lot of times they have, like, a protective, like, rubber or, I don't know, silicone coating to it. Mm-hmm. But I've been looking for one just because I was a little inspired by your cup when I saw it last.
Yay. Yeah, actually, I did buy a glass water bottle from Target. I think it's from the brand Ello. But admittedly, I haven't been using it as much because I don't know why. I guess because it's heavier.
This might maybe sound like not as important, but does it have the same kind of... Because you currently have your plastic one with you, your reusable one.
I have a reusable plastic water bottle.
And it has but it has like a straw in it where that you can just literally sip or suck from the straw.
Yes.
Whereas my pet peeve with a lot of glass like containers is that you have to like literally like tilt your head back and drink it. I want one with the straw, and I actually haven't found a glass one yet with the straw.
Interesting.
I don't actually think I've seen it.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen
someone come out with that. We'll buy it.
Yeah. I know.
Or someone let us know if it exists already.
Yes. Or maybe we should just make it ourselves.
$1 million idea.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. I guess, like, one option is you could get a reusable straw to use in your glass.
But then you have to remember to bring it with you. Yeah. And make sure that it's long enough to not get lost in it.
Yeah, and my whole point is, because mine is more so for the water bottle, see how yours is built in? So, like, the straw itself is concealed, and then nothing spills out, and then you open it up, and the straw pops out. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm looking for, but in a glass version, and I can't find one. Because I could literally just bring a reusable straw, put it on, unscrew the cap and put it in, but that's not the style that I want.
Yeah, you like the convenience of like drinking from straw.
Basically, I'm lazy.
Yeah, because one reason why I like this water bottle is because like I had other ones from the same brand, which is called Core, K-O-R, Core. Again, not sponsored.
No, but this is a good learning episode, so learning different products.
Yeah. So they have other ones where it doesn't have a built-in straw, and one thing is like I'm really clumsy, and I pour water on my face like all the time.
You just like tilt your head way too far back.
Yeah. So that happens a lot, but with the straw one, I don't do that.
And I mean, it's also like spill resistant that way, and like my biggest worry with glass water bottles is spilling it and or dropping it and cracking it.
Same, because I'm very clumsy. I've broken many mugs, many plates. So far so good with this Keep cup, because it's made from like some kind, I think it's like soda glass or something. It's like a thicker glass, so it's not as.
So have you dropped it yet?
I have kind of dropped it a couple times in like the kitchen sink, but not from like a high enough height that it came out fine.
I think the cork helps it a little bit, because it gives it like some kind of buffer.
It absorbs like the shock of it hitting.
Yeah. So and I just try to be careful with it, and that's also partly why I got the medium one instead of I think it's like 18 or 16 ounce. The larger one, because I feel like the bigger it is, the harder it'll fall, and I will be more likely to drop it. I don't know. True. But I've been good about it so far, and I bring it with me to work every day. The one thing is that it's kind of a pain in the ass to like wash it, to remember to wash it every night, but like because it's like becoming like a routine, it's not so bad. So that's why it's not clean right now, because last night I was too tired to wash it, so I figured,
as we discussed,
I'll wash it later, but I had it with me just in case.
You can always wash it later.
I mean, there are sinks everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
So are there any other like tips and tricks that you've learned that you are either wanting to implement, trying to implement, or something like that you can recommend to people who are also just starting a journey towards like sustainability?
Yeah, so cutting down on like disposable plastics other than like with cups. So for example, toothbrushes. I am now using bamboo toothbrushes.
Where do you find a bamboo toothbrush?
Online. And actually,
they're actually a lot easier to find than you expect.
Really?
Yeah, because if you actually are looking for them in stores, you sometimes find them.
Okay.
Yeah.
You might not find it like at the dollar store, or maybe at your like a Ralph's, or like a local supermarket.
I'm pretty sure I saw them at Target.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, but
and I've seen them at like there's like a beauty stores, like, I've seen them at Ulta.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times they're, like, right next to the charcoal toothpaste display. Because apparently...
Which are terrifying when you see someone brush their teeth.
Yeah, so scary. But apparently a bamboo toothbrush is the best thing to use when you use those products. I don't know the reasoning, but that's why I guess they're always... So I always, if I can't find the actual display of toothbrushes, I always ask if they have charcoal toothpaste.
Interesting, yeah.
And you usually find the bamboo toothbrushes right next door.
Yeah.
As a random question, why don't you just ask for the bamboo toothbrush?
I don't know.
Very silly.
Maybe if they didn't know themselves, I could ask them where at least they have the toothpaste.
Yes.
But yeah, you'd think I would make that easier for myself.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. I guess I make things difficult as well.
It's okay.
So we go for the easy stuff, except for some points in life in which we're like, no, I want to complicate this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
just to see why.
Yep.
Just to see how.
Yeah,
exactly.
So bamboo toothbrushes, some of them come with charcoal bristles too, which I haven't tried. I'm curious to try it, but I haven't yet. But yeah, bamboo toothbrushes. Dental floss that is in a reusable container. So I have one. I didn't bring it with me. Sometimes I do, but I got it from Package Free. And it's basically a little glass like vial with like a stainless steel lid. And I don't remember. I guess I use like silk or whatever with like coconut oil or something on the floss itself. And then you can get refills and put it in the same little glass vial.
Okay.
It's pretty nifty.
Interesting. Wait, the floss itself isn't reusable though, right?
No.
Okay.
No, it's compostable though.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Or biodegradable, whatever.
Because if they did find a way for it to be reusable, I mean, that's interesting. That's very interesting, but I'm glad
Yes.
you didn't.
Yeah, no, it's compostable, but the container it's in is not plastic.
Gotcha.
Which is
Cutting
cool.
down on plastic.
Though we do know people who are allergic to coconut that I don't
Interesting, yeah.
would
So
be able
I think
to use that.
and so that I might be wrong about. It might not be coconut, but I might be thinking of a different floss that I tried that is in a plastic container, but the floss itself is like
compostable.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that one definitely had coconut oil because I think the brand was Cocoa Floss.
Yep, that would make sense.
Sounds
Yep. Sounds about right.
That sounds kind of yummy, but only because I like coconut. But
yeah, it was fine. It was okay. It was. I think I like the floss itself on that one better than the one I'm using right now. But it is in a plastic container, so that's something to consider. So yeah. Oh, and like razors, plastic disposable razors, no bueno. But I've been using basically a stainless steel or metal razor. They're called like safety razors. And they seem like kind of scary, but they're actually not bad. And they're actually like better for you. Like they do a closer shave.
Do you have to replace the razor?
You replace the razor blade. But it's like actually much cheaper to use because like you can get a pack of like little razor blades for much cheaper, like a few bucks, and it'll last you much longer than disposable.
And are
razors.
the blades like recyclable, reused?
Yes, because they're made of like metal, like stainless steel or like coated whatever, so you can recycle them the same way you would recycle other metals.
Okay.
So one tip that I learned was if you get like an aluminum can that we're going to recycle anyway, and just put all the used razors in the can and then close the can, you know?
I'm just picturing the person at the recycle thing just opening them and just seeing this pile of razors.
Yeah, that's what happened here. And I think what you're supposed to do is actually label it and say like,
be careful,
dangerous,
biohazard.
Yeah, sharp razors.
like if there's like they say that with even broken glass, like you can recycle that, but if it's broken, you should probably put it in something that contains it and label it. Yeah. So I haven't accumulated enough used razors yet to have to actually like toss it, but so far I have a can where I put them all in.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And you've talked about sustainable clothing. Have you found any brands that you like that do sustainable
I
clothing?
was going to ask you that too, because I mean that's so interesting, especially since you brought up microplastics. Have you found any brands that do use more like 100% cotton and other?
Yeah, there are quite a few, and yes, they do tend to be more expensive, but they're out there. Reformation is, I think, getting a lot of popularity, and because there are a few like, yeah, at least a couple of Reformation stores in LA. I think it was based in LA and like, started here. So Reformation's one of my favorites. I think I like their clothes. They're super cute. And they do strive for sustainable clothing. And then they sometimes, I think they do, they sell like other brands that are also sustainable, not necessarily their brand.
Well,
but,
so you say they strive for sustainable clothing. Are there things that they use that sometimes aren't, that they put like a label on?
I don't know, but it is, so one of the websites I mentioned, Good On You, is actually also an app, Good On You, and it rates different companies and brands based on their ethical, like their impact on the environment, their ethics and sustainability, and I'm pretty sure Reformation is highly rated.
Oh,
okay.
So
I've heard of that brand a lot. In fact, like a lot of my favorite like YouTubers mention it.
Well, yeah.
And I know you're saying it's at a higher price point, but what I find, especially with fashion these days, is if it's really great quality, then it's worth spending money on.
Yeah.
If you're paying a lot of money for something that's not great quality and you end up having to like get rid of it, then that's not sustainability anymore.
So it's not buying the $5 top from a fast clothing.
Yeah, it's not
fast fashion place. It's getting the one that's maybe $25 for the same shirt, but the shirt's sustainable. It's gonna last you longer.
Yeah.
It won't break in the wash.
Yes, exactly. That's like I'm like always my fear. I'm like, it ripped.
Yeah.
I spent how much? Like, and then never again to buy that brand. It's a waste. But I mean, going off of what you were talking about in terms of like sustainable fashion, I think it's also like not only like the quality or the type of like brands you buy and what type of material you use, but how much you buy. So again, going off of like, even though it's a lot more, if you notice it lasts you longer, and you're also buying less things, so now you're I don't know, now you're having to wash less. Like it's like this like domino effect.
Yep, and the more that you do one thing helps you do something else that's good, helps you do something else that's good.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I used to be very prone to like buying into fast fashion, going to these stores where you can easily buy like a $15 top. It's cute, but I mean, it's only good for one season, or maybe you only wore it for one event. And instead of buying something that is only good for one event, buying things that you can wear for other occasions.
Right, yeah. Something that is like versatile, that could maybe even last a lifetime.
Like staple pieces.
Yeah,
you can just keep using in different contexts.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so that's another thing is I try to invest in like staple pieces of clothing that I can like mix and match different ways. That's kind of like goes into like the minimalist like fashion, like capsule wardrobe kind of philosophy.
I think people fall into the Instagram wardrobe thing.
Yeah.
Where you can't take a photo of yourself in the same outfit twice.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's a healthy promotion.
Yeah.
And so it's trying to realize that wearing the same items and having the same stuff and using them again and again in different ways is just as good as having like 5 different outfits for one day.
Yeah, yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, totally. So the Good On You app, basically, you could, it basically rates different brands. So like Reformation here is rated as good, so like 4 out of 5.
You found one that's like 5 out of 5?
Yeah, I think so. Let's see, what are my favorites? So People Tree is one. That's 5 out of 5. Let's see, what else is more like well known? Apparently Mighty Good Undies. I've never tried it. Oh, Packed. This is one that I have shopped at. I think it's only online, and they do like a lot of cotton basics. But I bought like underwear and I think maybe a t-shirt or a cami from there, and they are rated great on the Good On You app.
Okay.
5 out of 5.
Pricey?
No, not really. They have a $2 sign thing indicator. But yeah, it's underwear and activewear, almost 100% made from certified organic cotton. They have a range of cotton basics for men, women, and babies.
Can't forget those babies.
Oh, man. And you know what's so difficult, especially with babies? You're like, I just want to buy everything because everything is so cute in like a tiny size.
Yeah.
But I mean,
there is sustainability for babies too, like diapers.
Yeah,
and all of
that's
that.
so true.
Oh yeah.
The disposable.
They even have like not reusable, but like baby cloths to like wipe them. I don't know if you necessarily use it for like their like fecal matter or whatever. I don't know how else to say it, but I mean like just like a washcloth, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could really imagine, but not only that, but I think they also have like compostable ones too. So you're not having to like wash a towel of poo poo.
Yeah. But anyway, no, yeah, there are a lot that are good. Oh, one well-known brand that's apparently good that you might be surprised by, Adidas.
Oh, I love Adidas.
Yeah, me too. So Adidas is a good one.
Good on you, Adidas.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And now I feel great about owning a bunch of their like active wear and shoes.
Yeah, and then there are some where they do rate it as like not good enough or it's a start, even though you think that it might be a good brand.
I like the fact that they call it a start.
Yeah, it's a start.
It's a positive outlook.
At least they're trying.
Yeah, and it could also be like something that, you know, you might, maybe you like, your priorities lie in something more than the other. For example, this brand called Nisolo, they sell shoes and accessories. I like them a lot. I have a couple pairs of their shoes, but they're rated as it's a start. But I think it's more because of the animal, because they do use leather, and some of their environmental impact. But their labor ethics, or whatever you could call it, is actually really good because they like pay their workers and their artisans a lot more than most other like brands that are similar, and they give them a lot of benefits and, you know, like medical benefits and stuff like that. So that's something that I really feel strongly about and I want to support. So yeah.
All right. So I will definitely make sure to link a bunch of these things in the show notes if people want to go check them out and learn more about sustainability, as well as the very useful app, so you can see if the things that you're already buying fall into that category at all.
Yeah, and I will admit, at first it's going to be kind of upsetting.
Yep.
Because I will, like, a couple of times I've walked through a mall, like, looking through the app, saying, like, can I shop in this store? Can I shop in that store? And being really disheartened by the results.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm going to bet you that if you find smaller stores, like boutique stores, you might have a little bit better luck.
Maybe, yeah.
Potentially just because they are usually more locally sourced.
Yeah.
Versus like the big mall stores.
Yeah, the big corporations.
And it's just that thing of getting over the thought of it as a hassle and thinking of it as like a necessity for the furthering of everything, pretty much.
Yeah. Everything that is good in the world.
Everything that's good in the world takes a little bit of effort.
Because you are now supporting small local businesses and
there you go.
And the economy.
Yeah, and then like, no war and peace forever. Yay!
Yeah, I don't know.
And world peace.
Yes.
But it's cyclical. Every good thing that you do can cause another good somewhere else, whether it's for you, for someone else. And it all helps each other. So if we all, maybe we don't have to be perfect. Definitely, but if we all put forth the effort to moving towards having better habits in how that we live our life and the things that we buy and the things that we throw away, then we start making a bigger impact than just ourselves.
Yeah, it's at least the start. And I think since people are so put off by it because it's like a scary task to try to...
Or it's a hassle. It's a burden.
Sure, but, you know, as long as you start or make any kind of effort, whether it be a small one in terms of like, you know, cutting down the amount of plastics in terms of bags that you use for grocery shopping or using none at all, to something even bigger than that, which is like becoming completely sustainable and, you know, using glass jars to put your rice in as opposed to buying it in the bag, you know, and making sure you're consistent with it, but at least starting. And I think it's very admirable that you've made that conscious effort and you're at least starting. So I think, honestly, I feel so compelled.
So do I.
Like, I literally want to go and test out some of these products you mentioned.
You've also helped the fact that you've helped everyone overcome the first hurdle of having to go and find a bunch of stuff that they can
some of the
use.
resources.
Research.
You've done that for them, so now there's less of a reason to be afraid of it because you don't have to have the hurdle of well, I want to do this thing. Where do I begin?
Yeah.
Right. You've done the hard work for everybody.
Yeah. Well, a little bit.
I mean, a decent amount.
Yeah, honestly, now I know I'm downloading that app right now.
Exactly. And much like we did the last point, we still have to end this with a howl to the universe because it's tradition.
Yay!
All right?
I'm ready.
You ready?
Yes.
Right. 1, a 2, a 3. All right. Thank you, guys.
Yay! Goodbye.
Thanks again to Stephanie and Jessica for coming on to the Mystic Girl Cult podcast. They are two of my very best friends, and I cannot thank them enough for supporting what I'm doing. I couldn't ask for better people in my life. Thanks for joining in our circle. Mystic Girl Cult is a bi-monthly podcast. The rest of the time, we're out running with the wolves. You can keep up with me on all social media with @Amariebythesea. Until next time, stay magic.